morning, everybody. This is Carol Ann from Shining My Light. Today, I want to shine a little light on Annapolis, Maryland. This is where I live. I'm currently just pulled out of my parking area, and I am driving along Admiral Drive. I'm headed to what they call City Dock area, which is an area in town in the historical old section of Annapolis that's right by the Chesapeake Bay. Just to drive through, it is probably not the most beautiful sights you'll ever see, but some of them are quite interesting because they are old. Maybe 300 plus years, I would say. The Annapolis Bay area, Chesapeake Bay, and then in the Annapolis area, right at the City Dock spot, is where unfortunately many African folks were brought during the slave trade days. So there's some of that history there, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And also just the early beginnings of our country. Many things happened, honestly, right there that I wasn't aware of course, till I moved to this area and started learning a little more. But yeah, I'm just going to take a ride down there. I looked out the window this morning when I woke up, and by the way, thank you, Lord, for another good night's sleep and waking me up today. But I saw some clouds that were just a little different than I'm used to seeing in the sky. I'm sure they're very common, but maybe I just never paid attention before, but I just thought they were kind of cool looking. So I went outside to take some photos of those and thought, I think this is a great day to take a little drive and take some photos, maybe do a little videoing and so on. So here I am. It is almost 8 o'clock in the morning, not quite, so I missed the earliest part of sunrise and all that, but that's common for me to miss those things. It's not uncommon for me to be awake, but it is uncommon for me to be out and about at that time of day. I'm a little slow mover. So, anyway, it's cool enough here today. Let's see, it says that it's 60 degrees outside, that I have my thermostat and heating system in my car set on automatic, and it's set to 72 degrees, and it's actually blowing a little heat, which feels good. That air feels chilly. I walked out in capri pants, which are a little bit short, and a t-shirt, and thought, I could use a sweater. That's pretty awesome. It's been hot all summer, so this is great. So anyway, yeah, I'm just taking you along for my ride, and we'll see what we can find today. Turning on to West Street, which is the street that will take us right down to where we want to be. So follow along. Yeah. It's very quiet in my car right now. I almost always have music playing, and it's probably 98.5% of the time. No, that is not a radio station. I was speaking of percentage there. I'm listening to contemporary Christian music. I enjoy that. I enjoy lots of music, but contemporary Christian music has helped me keep my focus on my faith and my God, Jesus, and everything He is and has done for me in my life. And it gives me opportunity to pray. It reminds me to do that. It reminds me to focus on Him, as I said, and to praise Him and thank Him and rejoice in the goodness of my God. So I do that a lot. And yeah, so right now videoing, that music is not playing because my little cell phone here and the camera that I'm using to video is typically what is connected to my Bluetooth system, and that's where the music comes from. So that's not happening right now, so it's not playing. So my car feels very quiet. Left, you can't see it, but there's a restaurant called Miss Shirley's Cafe, and that place is very popular over here. And the one meal that they are the most popular for is chicken and waffles. Now, I've been there, I think once, with family, and ordered the chicken and waffles, and I know people love it, but I didn't. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't all that like people had said it was. Not to me. So now I know Miss Shirley's food is good. It, like I said, it's extremely popular, and they have started out with a restaurant. I think this one, to be honest, was the original, but I could be wrong. And now they have a number of them in the area. But anyway, I don't think that one has branched out across the country. I think it's more local. But very, very popular local restaurant chain. All right, now we're coming up to what they call Church Circle. We are still on West Street. My husband and I frequent, or used to, a place to our left here called Ram's Head and Ram's Head on Stage. We used to come to concerts there all the time. Awesome concerts. Mostly contemporary jazz for us because that's what he loves. But I have seen Amy, whose last name won't come to me. You know her. If you could think of her last name, please tell me. But anyway, yeah, Amy. We've seen her there. I've seen... sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to traffic and drive. That's silly, isn't it? Give me a second, I'll think of both of their names. Winona Judd. Yep, I've seen her there. We've seen Brian Culbertson a couple of times, whom I just absolutely am in love with his music, especially seeing him live. If you ever get the opportunity and you like any kind of jazz, he's more contemporary. He plays some funk. He's just an awesome musician. Most of the time in his concerts, he'll do this thing where he'll be really into his whatever song he's playing, and ad-libbing it. It sounds like excellent, talented music. And then he will walk around and continue playing while he's doing it. He's playing the entire time to the back of his piano and keep playing from behind it. It is just like, whoa, how do you do that? But he does it, and he doesn't miss a beat. It's awesome. He's a great showman. So if you ever get the chance to see Brian Culbertson in concert, I highly recommend it. Much fun. Yep. So anyway, we used to go to Ram's Head quite a bit, and we've seen him there a couple times. And Jonathan Butler, I'm trying to think, a young lady named Mesa. If you're into contemporary jazz or rhythm and blues at all, you might recognize some of those names. But anyway, those were fun days. We don't do it so much because it's gotten pretty expensive. And while it was getting expensive, our income was being minimized a bit because of my health problems and not being able to work any longer. So, that is life, and it's okay. It's just a little challenging sometimes, but it's still good. And I can still hear Mr. Culbertson on my Sirius XM. Watercolors is the name of the channel we listen to on there, and there are a few others for that type of music. Yeah, as I said, I like it all. All right, now we are actually getting into the old part of town. You can't tell yet. That's not an old building in our view here, but I'm going to take a little drive, try to go through a parking area to get closer to the water. To our right here is, I don't know if you can see those. Those are little statues that honor Kunta Kinte, because this is the location where he was brought to as an African and sold into slavery here. And if you've ever watched, what was the name of that series of movies about him and his experiences? Yeah, I can't think of that either, but my brain is tired today, can you tell? And I have to go to work. Yes, I do still work, but I don't do what I used to do. I was a nurse, and my disability prevents me from functioning in that regard any longer, but I can do simple, easy office, sitting at a desk kind of work. So I now do, I work for the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, and we rescue animals. We are a no-kill shelter, and we find homes for them, and that's what I do. Wow, that was a big bump. We find adopters to take our wonderful animals home and care for them, hopefully for the rest of their born days. Yes. Latitude 38 Waterfront Restaurant. A few of our guests probably enjoying our area here. They're doing a good deal of work to my left. They've torn down a building, and it's all enclosed in fencing, and they're working on it. I don't know what they're doing, but probably something to upgrade. I'm going to park for just a minute. So I got out of the car, so I could just do a little 360 almost. Capitol building. I guess they call that the rotunda. Sorry. That was a waste truck going by very loud. Capitol building, Annapolis is the capital of Maryland. Right on the line. And this direction, although you can't see it, this is the construction that's going on, is the water. If I can park closer, I'll walk up to it. Yes, Annapolis is the capital of Maryland. We are the home of the Naval Academy, so I don't know if you saw, but there was a young gent walking along there in his white Naval Academy uniform. Yeah, pretty interesting town. There's just a lot of history, a lot of our country's history here, and I haven't explored it nearly as much as I thought I would when I knew this is where I was going to be living, or I should. So, you know, it requires time, and I end up spending time doing so many other things that I just haven't done that, and I should. I really should. So maybe when I fully retire, that's what I'll spend my time doing. This dude up here is just singing away. Look at him. I love it. Wish I could hear him. I can barely hear him, so I'm sure it's not being picked up by the video, but yeah, he's just enjoying himself. I love it. Be very thankful that you don't recognize scents on this video, because the odor I'm picking up right now behind that truck is pretty nasty. I may go back to the water in a little bit. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and drive through some of this part of Old Town Annapolis. See what else we discover. Oops, I did not have my seatbelt on, and these people just decided to walk right out there. They didn't care if a car was coming. Even though there's very little traffic and they could have waited. No, they're not going to wait. There's not a soul behind me. Anyway, I'm going to pull over here and put my seatbelt on so that dinging thing will stop. Annapolis, apparently, hang on one second. Oh my, that poor lady. Yes, oh, that just makes me want to cry, literally. The view you were seeing there when I pulled over, and maybe God did that on purpose, was a homeless lady. Yes, we do have our share of those as well. This area is so full of affluence. And that picture of her, I'm going to have to try to figure out how, and I haven't done this yet, to take a view that's in a video I'm doing and turn it into just a still snapshot. I want that one because that is an indication of the stark wide difference between the affluent and those who have nothing, and those who are affluent or even just doing fine. And you walk past people all the time and you don't have a clue. You don't have a clue what they've been through or what they're going through right now. I want to go back there and grab her and bring her home with me, but I can't. I can't do that. No. So it's just heartbreaking. So be easy on yourself and be easy on people. Be kind. Don't judge. Oh my gosh. But for the grace of God, that could be us. My husband just found out he's being laid off from his job. Now, he's 67 years old. Was hoping to work another 3 years till he's 70. That's not going to happen. I'll get back to that story later. I want to talk about where we are in our little drive. We are turning right on Prince George's Street. I was going to do that, but I think instead I'm going to go straight ahead. These are some streets that I have not explored either, so I do not know what's back here, but it appears to be mostly residential with some shops. Books, coffee, books, coffee. Old Fox Books. Boy, would I like to explore that place with my daughter. The next time she's in town, we're coming here. What street am I on? I crossed Prince George Street, but this is an old brick street. I believe it's the original brick. It's definitely in the old section of town. My mother taught me that when you see a brick building like the one right here on this corner that we're facing, that has small brick, it's red brick, and they're smaller than modern day brick. That typically indicates, especially in a place like this, that that's an original old building. And yeah, we are on a street that I believe has been here for quite some time. The homes look like they might be original older homes that have been well maintained, obviously, but very nice. And the colonial style. Oh my gosh. I'm coming back on this street. Yeah, where am I? Good grief, I can't believe I've never been down this road. Okay. United States Naval Academy, founded, I'm getting up close here so I can read that, 1845. Yes. Okay, we just made a circle, I believe. I think we're coming, yeah, right back into Annapolis. I'm going to turn around and come back the opposite direction on this street. It is not a one-way street. Now I'm crossing Prince George's again. Hopefully not running any red lights, because I'm really not paying attention to what I'm doing. Parents with children, let them cross the street. Yes, for sure. People do that here quite a bit. They just simply cross the street, and you don't have a stop sign, but you better darn well stop or you're going to hit them. All right, now how can I turn around? I'm going to go here. This is a circle, and I'm going to go around it. Berkshire Hathaway, Mills Fine Wine and Spirits, the little bay inlet, and I'm going this way. Okay. Now, for general purposes, to the right of me is where I drove and pulled over first to take a few snapshots. There she goes. They don't stop. They look and glance and see you and hope you see them, I guess. Okay. All right. I'm heading back toward, I'm on the street that I just got off of. I turned around and I'm coming back. So right ahead of me is that white brick. Let's see here. It's the Naval Academy. Oh, I can stop here. There's no one behind me. Okay, let's fix this. All right. So sorry, folks. So sorry. United States Naval Academy, founded 1845. Yep, that's one of the entrances into their property. I obviously am not going in there. I do not belong there. Oh. All along to my right is the white brick wall that continues. I'm sure it's old too. It looks it. It is small brick, although it is white. There's another gate. Gate number 2, it says. Yeah. So if you know or have any of your family who have ever attended the Naval Academy, come visit. It's rather interesting. I think you can do a tour. I've never done that either. Shame on me. Heavens, I've got to get on the ball here and do some of these things before I'm too old. Truck, bus, in my lane. Wow, where was I supposed to go? There were cars parked to my right. Woo, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to turn left now onto Maryland Avenue and see if I can't see this sign to see what street I'm actually on. I can't quite see it right now. It is parallel with me, and I just can't quite see it. So, oh, don't wave me on. Don't wave me on. I don't want to go. I want to stay here. He's not letting me go. It's okay. Good. Good. I don't want you to. I want to. So I'm on King George Street, and I'm turning left onto Maryland Avenue, and a minute ago I crossed what was called Prince George Street, I think. Oh, buildings. Awesome buildings. Awesome old buildings on King George Street. And the Capitol Rotunda is straight ahead of us. Yeah. I gotta tell you, I do love this. I wish I wasn't videoing so I could just pay attention. But I want a video too, so. Very cool. I love real old American history. My parents did too. And they used to take me places that were historical. And, you know, some people would find that boring as a child, but I'm sorry. I am really struggling with my camera holder and all of that today, so just bear with me here. Anyway, yeah. They would take me, us, all of us, whatever, to all kind of historical places, and I didn't hate it, even as a child, and I think that definitely had something to do with the fact that I really do enjoy American history. Now, I'm not sure what's in front of me, but it might be the Capitol. No. It might be the governor's mansion. Welcome to St. John's College. No, it's not the governor's mansion. It is St. John's College. Yeah. So another old college with old buildings, beautiful, if you want to call it landscaping, yard area, courtyard, and yeah, very nice, very nice. And I'm not quite sure what street I just turned onto, but ahead of me here is St. John Street to my right, and it appears to be North Street to my left, which takes you directly toward the Capitol. Can I turn? No, I can't. Not until these cars go. St. John's College. Alright. State Circle is the name of the circular street that circles the Capitol building. It is to my left. And I'm sure all of these buildings around it have something to do with it. I should do a little shout out to my stepdaughter. She was recently offered a job with the state government. I have stopped for a moment because I'm trying to see where I can park myself and get a few really nice shots of these buildings because they're very cool. This is not the spot, so I'm going to drive on a little bit and try again. I'm going to do one other thing though. It's over here, and I'm going to turn this way. I'm fretting because to our left is the Capitol building, and we're driving by it but not seeing it with the camera, so I'm trying to fix it so we'll see it a little better. These folks are just taking pictures. I don't think they're professional. I think they're just tourists, etc. Alright. I'm going to go around this circle a couple of times. Everywhere I look, though, they've got the orange barriers up and cones and trash containers and whatnot. So there's a lot of work going on, and I don't want to see that in my pictures. Now I've got a cool one to my left. Bear with me. Okay, I just got one cool picture. We'll see what else comes along. I'm going to tell you what, it's a good thing there's no one behind me. They would be honking their horns for sure. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so this next time around, I'm going to get off of this circular street and see what else I can find. Let's see, where does this go? Francis Street. Appears to go back down the hill toward the water. I don't really want to go that way at the moment. So, cute little puppy. Be careful, lady and puppy. Alright, let's see. There was a street to my right that we passed that I wanted to turn right on. That's not it. Nope. Maybe it's up here. Hello. I'm back again. I see that a lot of people come here to walk and run, which makes perfect sense. If you want to exercise, this is a relatively hilly part of town compared to a lot of the rest of it, and you definitely get your exercise, although there are areas that are flat too, so you could just walk or run on the flatter ground if you chose. To my, I don't know what that is in front of me. I think it might be the courthouse or a part of it, or maybe it's part of that school, but right here is a very cool looking building that I believe is St. John's Church. That is an old historical church, been here for hundreds of years, and this circular street is called Church Circle. Go figure. Oh, that's a post office. Yeah, I should remember the courthouse because it's where my husband and I got married. Oh, yeah, this is not it either. All right. Anyway, where is that? All right. I'm going to go down this street. We're heading back down toward the water. On my left is Maryland Inn, and I believe it's along this street, maybe not. There's a museum. It is, I think it's one more street over. The Harriet Tubman Museum. Yeah. Let me turn here. Trust me, to live in this section of town, you need to have a little wherewithal. Purchasing and renting and so on is quite pricey. My husband and I have said that if we ever hit the lottery, we would try to find a condo or a home to purchase down here. Hasn't happened yet. That's okay. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Even with him losing his job, I have to say thank you, God, because we will be all right. We're not going to be rolling in the dough, but we're going to be all right. So the good Lord has taken care of both of us for so many years in so many ways, and through some rough times. Now, we weren't together during our rough times. We found each other after the fact, but we share the experience of surviving. Yes, some very difficult times, and I think that's partly what brought us together. But nonetheless, all right, I'm gonna video just a little bit more, because before you know it, I won't be in the historical part of Annapolis any longer. I will be heading back to my home. explain that to my right, what you're seeing mainly are buildings. They're also on the left. You just can't see them. But anyway, that are all part of the government complex. It's where government offices are, and all the folks come to work. I might just leave this on for another few minutes. Sorry about that little blip. Anyway, I'm heading back home a different direction than what I came. This is actually quicker and easier. I'm just in such a habit of taking West Street into the downtown part that I forget that I could also come this way. But this is a little, just a slightly easier drive as far as the type of road you're driving on. As you can see, 2 lanes going the same direction, instead of one along a narrow street with businesses on each side. And we're crossing a little bridge here that crosses one of our local rivers. Not sure which one. We have a number of them. Because of the bay, there's just quite a few water inlets or outlets, whichever the case may be. And yeah. More government buildings to the left. I think the one up here to the left on the corner is the county and district courts are held there. Yes, I had to go there for something one time. You know, when I came to Maryland in 2012, it was scary. I had never moved to a new location like that, so far away from my hometown ever in my life, and I was almost 55 years old. And I knew no one over here. I came for a job. And to settle down in life a little bit, which I did. All of that was accomplished, and I thank God for that. But I honestly at the time felt like it was him calling me to come here. He opened all the doors that needed to be opened, such as the job, a place to live that I could afford, because this is not a cheap area to live in. Just all kinds of things that just fell into place, and I seriously felt that he was guiding my steps, and I do believe he was, but he couldn't have picked a nicer spot for me. I love history, I love the water, we're so close to the bay. We're not on it with our home, but we can get there in 5 minutes if we want to, maybe 10, but not far. Yeah, and it's a nice area. It's, needless to say, I've mentioned before, it's affluent, which also means, and it's the state capital. So the city itself, the town, tends to be well maintained. And knock on my wooden head, there's not a whole lot of crime here. There's some. Every city in this country has its share nowadays, but it's not like living in DC or Baltimore or New York City or Los Angeles or one of these the places in our country, unfortunately, where there's a lot of crime. It is not like that, and I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. You do have to watch, be a little careful. We do have our issues, but it's great. It's great, and thank you, Lord. You knew better than I did, and here we are. I'm actually turning left onto the street where our property sits. We live in a condominium. I thought that young lady was about to walk right out in front of me, like people do around here. Walkers. They know they have the right of way, and man, they do take advantage of it. Not always smart, but they do it. Anyway, yeah, we live right here. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I had a lovely drive. I hope you did too. And we'll do it again. Another part of Annapolis, another day. I'm going to explore, and I'm going to take you along. So I hope you'll join me, and we'll all learn something, hopefully. All right. Have a great day. God bless you.